Lee Cronin has crafted a mesmerizing and horrifying gorefest with Evil Dead Rise. This was one of my most anticipated films to release of 2023, and I'm glad I got a chance to see it on the big screen. From the title card that hits you from the jump, the structure of the story's narrative and name makes sense as a long-time sequel to the Evil Dead films. Dead Rise, it has all the tropes and camp you'd expect from the Evil Dead universe. Alyssa Sutherland as Mommy plays one of my all-time favorite Deadites. She is petrifying and embracing every second in her role as a villain. This is her first major role. I think this performance will truly be a massive success for her as an actress. She's effectively changing her mannerisms to make it seem like she could be a franchise-defining antagonist that we've yet to see take the mantle. Lily Sullivan as the new final girl Beth is also very good here. She reminds me a lot of Mia from the 2013 reboot, but she certainly stands on her own too. There's some wonderful moments with the kids that you're rooting for to escape and defeat Mommy. The plot effectively takes place in a household environment. This creates extreme tension and chaos between the family, and which proceeds into Scared Beyond for the viewer. The runtime is adrenaline pumping and works in the film's favor. It left me wanting more as the gore and effects were top-notch. There was a bunch of moments that were hard to watch, but it made up for it due to timely action and mythos lore that we love of the Necronomicon and its characters. Evil Dead Rise is a reminder that the iconic Ed universe is still one of the greatest horror franchises of all time. A solid sequel after 10 years and one of the best horrors I've seen in a decade. With the latest installment in the franchise from director Lee Cronin, Evil Dead Rise continues the trend of no misses for this series as we get yet another violent, bloody, gory, and downright gruesome time that takes the most serious and demented approach yet. Taking place in one beat-down apartment, we watch as a family is completely terrorized and attacked by the Deadites, who infect the matriarch of Ellie, with actress Alyssa Sutherland delivering the most terrifying and sadistic performance of any infected villain in the franchise, while Lily Sullivan as Beth gives us a final girl more than worth rooting for to slay her way to survival. For a film that dials in at 100 minutes, the brisk and non-stop pace never gives you time to breathe and keeps you engaged from start to finish, and offering so much carnage candy that you would have your pick of the litter when it comes to the best kills, whether it's the grotesque use of cheese grater or the proper use of the iconic chainsaw. The creativity is on full display with the use of split diopters, Dutch angle, and cinematography that learns from the typical gray palette of the previous film, and heightens the color grading for a much more lively film. And both the editing and especially the sound design create an atmosphere that never allows these characters a break, as they could be facing death around the corner. A truly great entry into this franchise yet again. Honestly had realistic expectations after the 2013 reboot, but saw the trailers and was excited enough to take a trip to the cinema with my wife. Being a huge fan of the original trilogy and Ash vs. Evil series, I was honestly very satisfied with this take on the franchise. The Deadites are exactly as I hoped they would be: demonic, haunting, relentless, and most importantly mocking you whilst you witness the most savage and gory elements of the movie. I didn't like some things within the film itself, like the elevator doors opening and closing non-stop and Beth not being able to hear any sound with those headphones. But those are just minor things and they don't really affect the experience. All in all, it's one of the better films that I have watched recently. A must-watch for all fans of Evil Dead, no matter how hardcore, and a great watch for the general horror fans out there too. Can't wait for the next entry in the franchise, although it has a tough act to follow after the awesome Evil Dead Rise.